Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Matrix. Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo.
The system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress?
I was.
Look again.
Every human was born with a pineal gland, and that pineal gland is a sensor organ that sits in the middle of your brain. It serves as a receiver and a sender between you, the human being, and the universe. You see, that's where you get your freedom from. Your mind is connected to the universe, which is infinite. It's infinity. You can do anything with your mind. Everything that you see in its physical form came from the invisible spiritual realm first. This auditorium, this building, wasn't here at one time. It was just in someone's mind. So your mind is very, very strong. And how are you connected with that? Your pineal gland. Every human.
The idea is simple. The system controls you as long as you are all the same. But if everyone starts thinking outside the box, the system won't have enough rules or methods or hands to spank each and every one. You are torn between the romanticism of stubborn opposition and the desire to adapt and conform and survive. That's when you get a sock in the jaw. You're just a speck. Get to the back of the line. But pay attention. The most subtle and the highest revolt is merely the ability, in any situation, to always remain true to yourself and proudly carry your identity like a flag.
$1940s.
They playing by manual.
Wow.
They got a whole manual.
They got a playbook against you Negroes.
Right.
Play it again.
In 1943, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them after suitable build-ups as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations to discredit them. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind."
This was in the 1940s.
Social media is a place where we make allowances for things that are really not healthy. We tell ourselves it's just a photo or it's just a video, it's not real. But how does all of the editing and pretending affect our self-worth? And What do we know about how it affects the younger generation? I don't want to be part of the problem anymore. Because I think that every single one of us has the responsibility of making people realize social media is not real. And that we are all imperfect, and that is what is truly beautiful.
Then you cannot have mutually assured destruction, right? Which that's the mad. So you got to be able to combat. You got to be like North Korea. They decided that they were going to get nuclear weapons to cement their place, to be able to protect their peace, or whatever you want to call that. You know, the increase in technology, I see a scary trend, and that's stress, anxiety, depression, and suicide. The lack of human ability to deal with, right, finding purpose, dealing with emotions, and having emotional intelligence, which is why, 4 years ago I put out a video called Emotional Intelligence versus Artificial Intelligence, because the de-skilling of America, the laboring of America, right, meaning that the human capital market, because America has always been based on human labor, right? It first started with black bodies in America as the first human labor, and our skills to be able to, work the fields and produce the crops and run the plantations, right? We were stock that could be sold, and our skills could be capitalized off of. But here we are, 500 years later from, America starting a slave revolution, right? An industry, and building industries off of that sort of style of capitalism, where now, the children and ancestors of once slaves or enslaved, right? And we're dealing with what we see, and we can make and draw the correlation between the lack of babies being born on one side, right? Which is why artificial insemination and artificial womb has been made, because they're trying to figure out how do we increase, labor, right? How do we increase birth on one side? So what does that happen when you don't have the majority? If there's a picture painted that by 2053, you lose the majority, right? Nations can occupy and have control based on two factors. One is influence, meaning you have influence over the people. The American dream was the influence. The American way, America being the greatest superpower in the world, was the influence. The rest of the world wanted to be like America. We exported our societal culture, right, and propaganda to the world. And then, that was the influence we had over nations. And then the second one is through occupation, specifically military occupation. All right, so military occupation is the ability to have troops on the ground stationed all throughout the world and have bases. And this is how we've been able to establish influence and power as a regime in America. Right? Now, if you lose the military-industrial complex, physical wars are no longer the way wars are being fought. Right, so the physical might of an army is no longer that. They started to move towards robots. The demasculation of the population means that you're not even getting soldiers that will be ready for that army, right? Who you gonna recruit if most of the population is emasculated, the men specifically, right? So now you start coming up with, ways to create robots, because the artificial, ingredients, these are destroying the balance and the hormonal balance of the population, right? So decreasing the ability of fecundity in the mind to produce ideas, fecundity in the body to produce sperm. So there's less babies, there's less imagination, creativity, right, and ideation. And then we have the idea that people in power want to maintain power, right? And we're going to go over this today. We're going to go over quantum machine and computers, and what does that mean for the future? What are the solutions, the dangers, right? The heroes, the villains of this story that we're going to live. It's very important that we pay attention. So you have robots that are here, artificial intelligence that is here, and artificial intelligence has always been here since the 1950s. But this artificial intelligence is public sector artificial intelligence use, right? We had Siri that was already introducing people to artificial intelligence in many different applications on the phone, through the internet. We watch the movies about it, iRobot, and we clapped in joy. We watch, The Matrix, which was a documentary on, the world that we living in. And we're now living in 2023, where a lot of those predictive programming agendas right now take place. So, the idea, there's an idea of the singularity. And the singularity is the idea that machines will become smarter than humans. And at that particular point, they will run humans. Humans won't run machines.
Here. We don't have to be one location. We don't have to be one diet. We don't have to be one religion. We don't even have to be one race. Let's just be real. You feel what I'm saying? But we do have to be one love, one heart, and we have to share the same vision. You feel what I'm saying? Because as long as you don't share my vision, you are Satan to me. You are a Satan to my vision. Satan meaning the opposing spirit. And if you don't share vision with me, then what do we have to talk about? Yes, my Gemini Mercury mind, I have to force myself to slow down the rhythms. Yes, you can do that. You can slow life down. You can speed life up. Time is relative. Time is very, very relative. Like, I just say time flies when you're having fun, because it literally motherfucking does. It literally does, because it's relative. It is a construct of your mind, and your mind is a construct of you. You created the mind. The mind created time. That's why at certain times it seems to go slow, and certain times it seems faster than other times, because it is very, very relative. And you can slow it down. Just like in the Matrix, you see Neo, he can slow time down and do all that bending shit and avoid the bullets and shit. You could do that shit. You are a transformer. You feel what I'm saying? You just gotta transform into your God body, who you truly are. You're not your mind. You're not your thoughts. You're not your desires. You're not your actions. You're not none of that shit, really. You're not none of that shit, and don't never let nobody trick you into believing you is. These are creations of you. But none of that shit is you. Okay, I got it. Adonis says I got it. It's going to take me a little while, Adonis, to say it like that, because I've been calling you Adonai so long. That you've been given. Begin to operate your wand. Begin to use your wand and change your reality. Start on something small. Now, I do want to say this before I get off of here, y'all. It is not just the vision. It's the feeling, too. Because, you see, the emotion that you put behind your vision is the spirit. The vision itself is the flesh of it. The emotion is its spirit. You understand? So when you visualize, let's say you want to, let's say you want a promotion at your job or something. Okay, I'm going to give y'all just a little example in case you're having problems figuring out what I mean by visualizing it. You have to mix your emotions in with it too. You not only have to see it, you have to feel it. In the same way that I told y'all at the beginning of this Gaudio, if you was listening at the beginning, to imagine a strawberry. Then I told you to see the strawberry, and you seen it. You seen the color red, the deep, beautiful red. And then I said to feel the strawberry, and you could feel the bumps on the strawberry, the little black dots. You feel it, and it's kind of fuzzy and soft. And then I said, smell the strawberry. And then I said, taste the strawberry. And so you were able to taste the strawberry. What I'm saying is if you want a new job or something like that, then you need to visualize it, but you need to put your emotions and your feelings into it, meaning you need to get excited about it. You have to feel that you actually have this thing. That's right. Energy in motion. In the physical realm, we have motion. In the spirit, we have emotion. Just like email. You feel what I'm saying? In the physical realm, we got mail. In the digital world, we got email. You see what I'm saying? But you have to feel it. You visualize yourself at your job, whatever it may be. You see yourself in your new uniform, your promoted uniform. You imagine your co-workers coming up to you and telling you congratulations on the promotion. You shake their hand. You play this shit out as a movie in your head. Visualize it. But the thing that makes it real is just like we do with movies. You ever watched a movie and you got so into the movie till you was like literally on the edge of your seat, like all of your emotions was tied into this motherfucking movie. We do it with football, even though it doesn't matter whether they win the game or not. It don't change shit in our life, but we be in that shit, got all our emotions in it. Like, and when they lose, we really get sad, or when they win, we happy, we jumping. Wow! Everybody in the house motherfucking screaming and shit. This is how I need you to get about your vision. You understand? I need you to be so enmeshed and involved in your visions till your feelings are enmeshed and involved in this shit. And so when your coworkers come up to you and shake your hand in your vision and tell you congratulations on the emotions, I need you to feel that excitement on the inside. Feel what you would feel as if it were really true. I need you to get excited about the shit. So excited till you start dancing around your house like you really got the promotion. That's right. I need you to start planning what you're going to do when you, with this extra money you're going to get for your vacation. Call those things that be not as though they be. When I'm telling you I need you to go all the way, I need you to go all the way, all in. Go all in, you guys. I need you to smell the promotion, taste the promotion, feel the promotion. If it's health that you want in your body, I need you to imagine yourself outside playing, or outside, gardening, or outside doing basketball or running or whatever it is that you think that you can't do right now. Because listen, you guys, just like I said, your spirit is just like the spirit that is in nature. It's only separated by the ego. In the same way, a bottle in the ocean, the water inside the bottle is the same as the water outside the bottle. The only thing separating is the bottle. I want you to know that your vision, that which is in you, is right outside of you. It is right there. The only thing that is separating you from your vision is your sight and what you call reality. And reality is an illusion. And the illusion must motherfucking die in the same way that your ego had to die. And you will become one with your vision. That which is inside of you will become the same thing as that which is outside of you. But you got to feel it. You got to smell it. You got to live in the end. Don't worry about how you're going to get there. Just get there. You got to live in the end.
World as a large brain, a mind, and we are the neurons that are lit up right now. What we have to do is make those connections, those neurological connections with the other neurons to create a link. And we do this by shining our light, walking a righteous path, and by leading by example. And if we influence the ones around us, you might tell them things from time to time, but they might not listen to you. And then all of a sudden you start seeing them making small micro changes in their life. They might start eating better. They might start paying attention to what they watch or what they listening to. They start making micro changes in their life because your vibration influences them. And those seeds are growing, but everybody wakes up on their own time. So we got to be humble and patient. Take advantage of the energy that's here right now.
So I realized this, right? I realized when you start breaking out of this system, no, look, whoever designed this system, they designed a system in the format that when you actually break out of the system will call you crazy via the movie Inception. So I don't know if any of y'all seen the movie Inception. But let's take the movie Inception, for example. So how the movie Inception works is once you start to get control of the dream and you start to realize that it is a dream, the actual dream attacks you. Once the dream says, oh, I think this motherfucker know how to work the dream itself attack you. The more they see you got control over the dream, the more the dream attack you. And that's the way Earth works. The more you start to break out of the system, the more the system will find the ways to point the finger at you. Now, the thing is, all of us will sacrifice knowledge, will sacrifice information, will sacrifice growth because we have this little thing called love. Love keeps us humble. in the aspect of we don't want to lose friendships, we don't want to lose relationships, we don't want to lose family, because we are all like family orientated type of people, and nobody wants to be alone. Nobody wants to be alone. Not a single person wants to be alone. So we'll sacrifice everything we need to know in order to be in a situation to where people are amongst us. Nobody wants to be alone. In that aspect, you have to realize you just got to meet more loners. It's okay to be alone. You just got to meet more loners. There's hundreds of loners that get it. You just got to figure it out. When you start living in your right purpose, your right path, you start to meet the right people. But the best part about being one of these people is when you meet somebody on that path, you go, hey, what's up, bro? Hey, what's up, bro? You know the shits? Yeah, I know the shits. Nah, do you know shits? Say something, Argatha.
The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man.
I always felt like I could do anything. That's the main thing people are controlled by. Thoughts, their perception of themselves. They're slowed down by their perception of themselves. If you're taught you can't do anything, you won't do anything. For me, from 10 years ago, everybody says, I love that interview. People didn't love it back then, though, because I was speaking to the future. I'm 10 years ahead mentally, and I'm trapped in today's time. And every now and then I crack you a smile for 2013, but I'm cracking you a frown for 2023. And I'm focused on what it's going to be. Just mark my words. As I'm Kanye West, you've seen my execution. Did I not become the biggest rock star on the planet? Did I not influence all musicians? Did I not go and get the exact girl that I wanted? Did I not start my family? Did I not ruffle the feathers of 2 presidents? Did I not get a chance to work with my idol? Did I not make Louis Vuittons? Did people not line up at the Yeezy store? Did I not make the college dropout, late registration, graduation, 808s, Blueprint 1, Blueprint 3, Watch the Throne, Cruel Summer, and Yeezus? You know, if you look at an interview, all of these celebrities out here, don't let them influence you in any way, because they're controlled by the people who really influence the world. There's no such thing as a celebrity influence. All these people, they're not serving God. If they serve God, then believe what they're talking about. Yeshua is Christ, that Jesus is Lord. It's the only way. It is the only way. Christ is the only way. Christ is the only way. The celebrity.
God has something in you that's going to bless other people. The devil has an expertise in being able to discover potential in someone. He knows when you carry something that's going to bless.
You're going to live a life that will outlive you. You're going to live a life that counts, a life that will build a legacy and change the planet. You know, Har's man said, we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Eli Talks TV. I'm back with another video. Now in this video, I would like to talk about the Matrix. The Matrix, y'all. It's been a minute since I last talked about the Matrix, man. The Great Reset. You know what I'm saying? The Great Reset. The capitalization of those who are chosen and those who, you know what I'm saying, are followers. Leaders and followers. You see what I'm saying? What differentiates you from the crowd? What sets you apart from the crowd? What makes you want to become the one like Neo? What makes you stand out just like Neo? What makes you want to be better than your circumstance and what you see? You see what I'm saying? Just like in the Matrix, everything is not as what it seems. Everybody is not as who they are, as who they appear. Everything is not as it once was. You see what I'm saying? If we look forward from a decade from now to where we are now, Everything is completely different. Everything has completely switched in our reality. You see what I'm saying? Co-reality. It's almost as if you can create your own reality from your mind based on your perception of yourself. This is one thing that Kanye actually masters. You see what I'm saying? This is one thing that we can take from Kanye and be like, you know what? This man is, he may seem a little crazy, but just like Neo, he know how to recreate his and co-create his own reality and make it to his. He co-creates and takes from his mind, literally from his mind, and makes whatever he thinks a reality. You know what I'm saying? It sets it before the world as his greatest work, whether it be fashion, whether it be music, whatever it is. This is not a video about Kanye, but I'm using him as an example. His confidence made him master of his world. You see what I'm saying? And it separated him, you know what I'm saying, from the least. It separated him because of his vision. It separated him because of his courage. It separated him because of his obedience to his own voice. You see what I'm saying? Also listen to the voice of God, but his obedience to his vision, his encouragement, his ambition that took him from his circumstances, took him from this fake reality, took him from what was meant to destroy him, and made him a creator of worlds. It made him a creator of his own world and involved others around that same vision to incorporate themselves into something bigger. You see what I'm saying? So it's like almost like you are on the cusp of something bigger. This is almost like living in the matrix. You want more for yourself. You know, you think about how many people work regular jobs. You think about how many people do regular things. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, man, there's got to be more than this. The rat race. You see what I'm saying? There's got to be more behind this. What about this is, I feel like I'm missing something. It's almost as if we're living life on edge. We're living life in cycles. We're living life in repetitive numbers. You see what I'm saying? And we have to seek these numbers. We have to seek these cycles, and we have to go, what is it that I need to do different to crack the code in the matrix and become just like Neo, become my own creator of world, you know what I'm saying? And make this world being and obey to my will. You see what I'm saying? And have for me to be that red pillar, that leader, you know what I'm saying? Instead of that follower in a world that loves to indulge. So we have to look what's around us. Neo was always an observer. Neo was always seeking answers. He was always seeking knowledge. He was always seeking more than what was presented amongst him. You see what I'm saying? He wanted more than what was presented amongst him. You see what I'm saying? He only seen what the world had to show him. He only seen what the life that was presented to him had to show him. You see what I'm saying? Y'all excuse me. The dog is throwing me off. The dog throwing me off, bro. Look at that. Dog don't want me to preach. The dog don't want me to preach the message. So I got to be the messenger. That's another thing too. Are you the messenger? Who are you? You see what I'm saying? Are you the messenger of your own generation? Are you the messenger in your own world? Are you the messenger in your family? Are you the messenger that came to set the captives free? When we talk about setting the captives free, are you able to set the captives free? Are you able to lead these people into the wilderness? Are you able to lead these people from the seas? You see what I'm saying? Part the seas, split the seas, and open up a whole new world for these people to come into based on your mindset. And based on your mindset, it can co-create other people's mindset to think just like you, and then get on this journey, get on this vision with you, and become leaders as well. It's just like Neo, you can become almost like they call, this chosen one. You see what I'm saying? Nowadays, I see it on the internet. A lot of people call themselves chosen ones. Oh, I'm a chosen one this, I'm a chosen one that. Well, who are you chosen by? Who are you chosen by? You can't choose yourself. God chooses. You see what I'm saying? God, he calls the qualified. So if God calls the qualified, then we are underneath the covenant of God. If we call ourselves chosen, we are a royal priesthood. So if we are a royal priesthood, then we must come under the submission of God's will. And that separates us. That sets us apart. When God says, come from among them. You see what I'm saying? Be ye separate. What separates you? Your drive, your hustle, your authenticity. your commitment to your vision. What separates you? Your ability to lead others. Your ability to be led by a higher source, a higher power that's more, that's far beyond your reach. You see what I'm saying? Your ability to seek more from out this life than what's shown to you. Because there's a lot of people that just subject themselves to what's shown to them, to what they've already done, to what they've already been, to what they've already experienced, to who they've already experienced, and they want nothing more because it's outside of the comfort zone. It's outside of my comfort zone to seek more for my life. It's outside of my comfort zone to think differently. It's outside of my comfort zone to do different. It's outside of my comfort zone to be different. It's outside of my comfort zone. We talk about being and becoming, right? When we talk about being and becoming, I might be all over the place with this video, but I'm trying to make y'all understand the red pill of life and the blue pill of life. So when we talk about becoming is that red pill part of your self-evaluation, of your journey, of your healing journey, whatever it is. Becoming is that red pill. When we talk about blue pill is where everybody else is at. Blue pill would be, to me, in my opinion, that would be being. A lot of people are just being right now. Being comfortable makes you a follower by default, because you're not fixing yourself on improvement. There's no improvement that's going on. You see what I'm saying? So it's easier for a lot of people to follow. It's easier for a lot of people to think just like everybody else think, because it's easier, it's comfortable. It gives them a sense of security and a false security, which really just makes them lazy. Lazy to the point where there's no improvement in their lives. So they become subjected by the code in the system, and they never crack this code because everybody is doing the same thing, walking the same way, talking the same way, listening to the same music, eating the same food. You see what I'm saying? Waking up on the same beat, working the same jobs. You see what I'm saying? Doing the same thing as everybody else, and everything is just repetitive. It's the same. It's a sequence. And a lot of times with God's chosen, we don't work in sequences. We don't work in the same thing. We don't work in cycles. You know what I'm saying? God doesn't work in the same type of patterns. God works in mysterious ways. So if God works in mysterious ways, we must move like God. We must move with the mind of Christ. We must move with this Kanye-like confidence about ourselves to separate ourselves from the pack. I feel like this is what comes with being elect. When God speaks about the elect, we are dealt with being elect. You see what I'm saying? When we dealt with being elect, I feel like that's what it represents. You see what I'm saying? If we were to be like everybody else, we wouldn't be elect. If we were to be like everybody else, we wouldn't be chosen. So now let's ask ourselves this point. What makes you chosen? What makes you chosen? To me, in my opinion, what makes me chosen would be my ability to adhere to the voice of God. First and foremost, that's what that would be for me. How y'all doing? Good. All right. How you doing? So that would be, to me, God's ability to speak to you, having the mind of Christ, having the mind of Christos, Christ. You see what I'm saying? Christ-like energy, frequency. When we talk about frequency, we talk about tapping into a certain frequency, being of a higher vibration. I know y'all spiritual people like to use those terms. Being of a higher vibrations. These frequencies, these vibrations is what can connect us to the spiritual realm, to the heavenlies. You know what I'm saying? Get us closer to our elect. Get us closer to our chosen. Get us closer to our higher calling, higher purpose, higher perspective, higher being. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If we can become this higher thing, then we can get ourselves closer to this higher calling and align, you know what I'm saying, ourselves to this will, which is from God, to complete this purpose, this mission, this calling. You see what I'm saying? But we can't complete this purpose, with mission, or calling if we are around the same things, if we are involving ourselves with mediocre. You can't be mediocre and chosen at the same time. You can't call yourself chosen and hang with the mediocre. You can't call yourself mediocre and hang with, you see what I'm saying, the chosen. Doesn't work like that. If we are to be called, we are to be separated. So a lot of times with the chosen, a lot of times even with going back to the Matrix with Neo had to go through a sequence of events. A sequence of events that would prove him chosen. A sequence of events that would prove him and the others around him that he is an actual chosen vessel for the mission that he has been called to. You see what I'm saying? For the assignment that's been called on his life, he's a vessel for that. You see what I'm saying? And it's been proven through, catch this, it's been proven through trials and tribulations who Neo was. It's been proven through his weakness, through his confusion, through his frustration, through his constant questioning, that he wasn't actually the exact key to this puzzle we call the Matrix. He was the key to it. He was the chosen one, but he didn't even believe in himself. Now, there's others that believe in him, but he didn't believe in himself at the time. He said, nah, man, y'all looking for the wrong man, bro. Let me go back to working my job. Let me go back to being regular. Let me go back to being mediocre. Let me go back to doing my regular basis thing. But you can't do regular things if you are called with a purpose. People who are called with a purpose they don't live a regular life. You know what I'm saying? They're not around here. They may live a regular life, but they're not regular people. And the people around them can see that. You see what I'm saying? The people that's associated with that individual can see that calling, that anointing on their life, just like with Neo. But they will sometimes even deny it because they are not fond to that calling, nor do they want to accept it. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who are actually called, but they don't actually want to be called. They don't actually want to be chosen because of all these trials and tribulations that they got to go through because of the fact that they are called to a higher purpose. They don't want to go through with that because it's pain. It's painful. It's painful to go through all these trials and tribulations. It's painful to go through what most wouldn't be able to adhere and stand. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of situations that a lot of chosen called people go through that would take a normal, mediocre, regular motherfucker out. Would take them out. You see what I'm saying? And they wouldn't even be standing. But it's amazing how certain people can stand after these trials and tribulations. After all these stuff hits them at one time, they can still stand and on a calling. Because it's this calling that's tugging on you. It's this calling, it's this anointing that keeps tugging on you. It's this purpose that keeps tugging on you. It's these sequences, it's these numbers, it's these codes that keeps tugging on you. And it's like, yo, we need to wake up. We not in the Matrix no more. You see what I'm saying? Everybody else doing the same thing. Everybody else thinking the same way. But you ain't everybody else. So what you got to do is you got to call up and you got to get back up on this word. You got to get back up on this anointing. You got to get back up on this purpose. Because if you don't do this purpose, you start to feel left out. You start to feel drowned. You start to feel drained. You start to feel down. You start to feel depressed. You start to feel all these other feelings because it's like, dang, I'm not doing what I'm called to do, but what am I actually called to do? And how do I get to that point? So just like with Neo realized through his trials and tribulations that he was actually chosen, but he did not want to accept the call. He did not want to accept the call that was really on his life. So a lot of people had to remind him. A lot of situations had to remind him, hey, you are the chosen. You are the key to what's happening in this around us right now, in this generation, in this culture, in this environment. What's happening right now? You are the source. You are the key for that. And we are depending on you to help us get a broader understanding even of ourselves. It can also help you. By helping you, you can help them. You see what I'm saying? But if you can't help yourself, you can never help the others around you. You see what I'm saying? You have to help yourself first. You have to put yourself first in order to help those around you, and they can be brought out of the matrix. You see what I'm saying? With you. You see what I'm saying? And these people will applaud you for that, because now you're bringing them to a higher calling, a higher purpose, a higher circumstance, a higher predicament than they once were in, all by your own presence. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes even your presence can be just nerve-wracking for people. Somebody, you know, some people can be intimidated by it. I've came across people like that in my life as well. Some people that were just intimidated by even just my presence. And I would wonder, why is that? Because you have an anointing, you have a calling on your life. And a lot of people don't want to help that calling. A lot of people want to destroy it. That's when you get these clones. You see what I'm saying? That's when you get the clones, they pop out. And then they want to destroy you. You see what I'm saying? Neo was not a man that was after just always constant violence. But he had to do what he had to do because of the calling that was on his life. And he had to take down these people because these people did not want to help him. They wanted to destroy him. All they wanted to just use him for what he was. So what Neo had to do, he had to differentiate, okay, who is friend or who is foe? And why are these people in my life? And what purpose do these people serve in my life? You dig what I'm saying? And how do they get me closer to my calling? So with the right team behind him, he was able to reach his destination. But with the wrong team behind you, you can't reach your destination. You can't reach your destination. You can't reach your higher calling. You can't reach your purpose because you got the wrong people behind you. These people are trying to X you out. There's a lot of people that are really just fake counterfeits, fake people that's around you, and they just want to, just like, you know, the dude that always be like, oh, Mr. Anderson and all this other stuff. Yeah, they study you too. They study you real good. They study you, they watch you. You see what I'm saying? They mimic your moves. They mimic how you operate, how you live, the people that you love, the people that you hang yourself around, the people that you incorporate yourself with. They watch you, they watch them, they watch everybody. You see what I'm saying? And they all in black tuxedos, they all in black suits, they all in these fake they all wearing a fake mask. You know, some love you, some hate you, but they'll never come out and confront you on that because they're really cowards. They're really just cowards. So what you gotta do is, right, is differentiate the called and the chosen. Many are called, but few are chosen. There's a lot of people that call themselves chosen, but they're not called to do what they're assigned to do. But once you are called, once you are chosen, you can really just realize that, man, as soon as I leave a situation, as soon as I leave a circumstance, as soon as I leave a person's life, as soon as I become who I am ready to become, or called to become, I can help others. Even if you are no longer in certain people's lives, you've helped them in some sort of fashion, in some sort of way. You've actually helped these people because of your presence, because of your aura, because of your attitude, because of who you are as an individual, because of what you are, what you represent, what you stand on. You've actually helped these individuals get not only closer to God, but closer to themselves. You see what I'm saying? All by your mere existence. And by your mere existence, you can set an example and lead by example to help these people to lead by example. It's all about being chosen, but chosen for the right cause. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that will prove to you, that will test you to see what you are truly about, to see what you are truly chosen for and what you are truly here on this earth to do. But you have to get rid of the clones. You got to get rid of the foolies. You got to get to the point where you have a vision, you have a purpose that you are really just ready to submit yourself to. And you know what that purpose is. You know what that calling is. And nothing or no one can take you from that calling or that purpose because you are set on what you are deciding for your life. You know what I'm saying? There's no amount of clones, there's no amount of people, there's no amount of issue, trial, or tribulation that can take you from that because you know who you are. Sooner or later, Neo had to realize who he was. They couldn't, you know what I'm saying? They couldn't just keep telling him and reminding him. He had to realize who he was. You know what I'm saying? So he could save the Matrix. he had to realize what type of power he had, because he was more powerful than he knew. He was more influential than he knew. He didn't know he was so influential. He didn't know sometimes he was so powerful. He had the inclination of it, but he didn't acknowledge it. One, because he was humble, but two, because he just didn't want to be in that role, in that position, because it was so much to handle at that point. He had to lose so many loved ones. He had to lose so many people. He had to lose all these people and a lot of times when you are, you know, quote unquote chosen, you have to lose a lot of things. You have to sacrifice a lot of things. You have to sacrifice a lot of people. I don't mean that in a negative way, but I mean that as in, because due to your calling, due to your purpose, due to your mission in life, you have to sacrifice and put away with a lot of things that don't serve you. You see what I'm saying? So that way you can, and you have to allow for people that are actually on that same vibration, on that same high, to take you into a place where you are being, pushed into destiny, pushed into purpose, pushed into mission, because these people serve the same mission you serve. So if you can find those type of people, meaning that tribe, then you can get to your destination quicker, faster. You see what I'm saying? With more power. There's going to be a lot of obstacles. There's going to be a lot of things that's going to hold you back. But you got to realize and fill out these people that's around you. And you have to realize who you are as your own identity, which is going to come through Christ Jesus. But you have to realize what's your identity and what's your purpose on this earth. And serve that purpose, serve that identity, and don't let nobody falter you away from that. Because people who don't know their own identity, it's immediately going to be some Agent Smiths, and they're going to want to take you from that, because it's jealousy mixed in there with it, it's greed that's mixed in there with it, it's envy that's mixed in there with it, and these people don't know their own purpose, and they don't know their own calling, so they attack yours because they don't have their own. You see what I'm saying? So it's easier to attack those who, you know what I'm saying? Y'all get it. So that was the matrix. Always having to reset and research your own code every day. Reset and research what you learned. Unlearn what you've learned and incorporate your own twist to it. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to think and act and be the same way everybody else is, because it doesn't make you unique. It doesn't make you chosen. It doesn't make you qualified. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't really make you called. It may make you qualified, but you ain't called, because you just like everything else, everybody else. There's nothing about you that says unique or different. So perception and reality has to be changed, for you to become what's being said and done to you in this present moment. So if you want to become that chosen vessel that you see in your head, if you want to become that chosen individual that you see, that everybody else sees, you have to change your perception. You have to change your mind. You have to change your world. You see what I'm saying? Your inner world. The inner world has to change before the outer world is changed. If you can change your inner world, then you can change your outer world. This is what Kanye does understand. His inner world looks like that. So his outer world is going to look exactly how he perceives his inner world, because he perceives himself in a higher standard, because his inner man is like that. His inner man. You see what I'm saying? The more he feeds his inner man, it's the more his outer man starts to reflect right back on that. You know what I'm saying? And that outer world starts to reflect that inner world. You know what I'm saying? So you have to change the inner world first. Change the inner world so your outer world can be reflected and flipped right back on you. And then that will change, you know what I'm saying, your whole existence and the lives of others included. Because now you're leading by example. You're leading by your own rhythm. You're leading by your own code. You're leading by your own matrix. You see what I'm saying? You're not living in anybody else's. You're not living in anybody else's code. You're not living underneath anybody else's rule, because now you're your own person. And what's worse than becoming your own person? You see what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want you to be your own person. The society doesn't want you to be your own person. Society doesn't want you to be your own individual. Society doesn't want you to think for yourself. Society doesn't want you to be for yourself. Society doesn't want you to have freedom of speech. Society doesn't want you to believe in self. Believing in self is almost a crime, because society doesn't want you to do it. Because if you can get outside the matrix, if you can get outside the rat race, then you can operate out of a whole different field than what's around you, and you can actually lead forth a whole generation. If you think about those who were before you, Martin Luther Kings of the world, you see what I'm saying? These people led by example due to their own inner world, because of their beliefs, because of their belief systems, because of their perceptions on life, what could be, what could become of this. You see what I'm saying? As a man thinketh, so is he. So if I can think, if I can outthink this system, if I can outthink this code that I'm in, I can set my own standard. I can set my own rules to this matrix. I can set my own codes. and I can live by this code, and I can let other people see the same code, see the same vision, see the same dream, and they can envision themselves with that dream, and then they can incorporate their dreams with my dream, and it will all align and it will all match. And if it's for a positive reason, if it's for a positive type of outlet, then it can help affect the whole culture in a positive way. And this is what Martin Luther Kings of the world did. You know what I'm saying? This is what they did. This is what they live by. It has to be a lifestyle. It has to be something that you live by. You know what I'm saying? I say it all the time on this channel, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, if you live for nothing, you die for anything. Or if you know what I'm saying? If you live for nothing, you die. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get the saying right. But if you live or speak for nothing, you will die from anything. You know what I'm saying? You will really just believe anything that's being said to you. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's being done to you, because you're living for nothing. You're living for no cause. You're living with no reason. You're living with no purpose, no mission, no perception of your own reality, no identity. Individualism is so important, but it's a lost cause in this age because nobody has their own identity. Everyone is operating out of the identity of their favorite celebrities. Everybody is operating out of the identity of their favorite religions. Everybody is operating out of their identity of their world class. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is operating out of their identity of their own skin colors. Everybody is operating out of a false, fake identity that does not serve them on a day-to-day basis. That's why the depression is at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying? They put these values in these materialistic things, and they allow for those materialistic things to become their value source, which is money, cars, purses, whatever it is, shoes, clothes, whatever you put your value in. You know what I'm saying? Pertaining to false identity is what you will become. You see what I'm saying? If you can become what you are, your thought process is going to determine how you live. So if you are consumed by how you live, it's going to come through your thoughts. If your thoughts are consuming how you live, then these thoughts will start to just reflect really just on your whole life and on the people around you and on how you incorporate certain people in your life and why certain people are in your life at the same reason that you are experiencing that type of perception. You see what I'm saying? Whatever you are experiencing in that moment, whoever you are experiencing in that moment, whoever you are in that moment is who you will involve yourself with and who you will attract. You are what you attract. So if you are attracting negative people, it's who you are in that moment. If you're attracting manipulators, it's probably who you are in that moment. You see what I'm saying? Two opposites do attract sometimes. You see what I'm saying? So whoever you are in that moment is what you will attract. It's what you will become, because it's that inner man that you got to work on. And if you want to be like Neo, if you want to be like Chosen, if you want to be separated, you have to think differently. You have to operate differently. You know what I'm saying? You have to be different than everything that's around you. Everything that's trying to tell you to buy the same things, do the same things, eat the same things. You can't do it because you're not like everybody else. Everybody else got the same sort of rules because they're living under a set of rules and circumstances that's comfortable. So if you're living comfortably, you won't have to chase for different. You won't have to chase for success. It's like success is going to be too far to reach for you because it's like it's not being replicated in your day-to-day living. It's not being replicated in your mind first. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's it for this video. You see what I'm saying? I talked for about almost 30 minutes. So that's perception and reality. You see what I'm saying? Co-create your own reality, live outside the matrix, and become your own leader. That way, you can become this chosen, you can become this qualified, and set the standard for a whole new generation. Set the standard for your family. Set the standard for your friends. Set the standard for your community. Set the standard for your environment. Set the standard for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being, become. It's time to become. It's time to set the example. It's time to set the standard. It's time to be the anomaly. It's time to be the different one, the weird one. You see what I'm saying? The original. It's time to be different because we too tired of the same. You know what I'm saying? Being real in a fake culture is a real thing. There's a lot of real people living in this fake culture, and they are calling the real fake, and they're calling the fake real. You see what I'm saying? It's twisted. It's twisted because the minds are twisted. Their mindset is still the same. So they serve the same things. So anyway, I'm done with that message. Y'all do what thou wilt with that. I ain't mean it like that, but y'all do what y'all want to do with that. That's the message: perception versus reality. Co-creating your own reality and set the standard for those around you and for yourself. And also just realizing individualism, your self-identity is rooted in who you can become in your day-to-day habits. You see what I'm saying? What you do in your day-to-day habits behind closed doors, who you will become. It's who you are. It's not who you are around your friends. It's not who you are around your family. It's not who you are at your job. It's who you are by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Serve that inner man so that outer man can reflect who you are on the inside, because that will be your representation as your identity in this earth. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to put your best foot forward, I suggest you work on your inner man more than you work on your outer man, because a lot of people work on their outer man instead of doing that inner work on their inner man. So the inner man effed up, but the outer man look good. It's decorated. It looks good on the outside, but inside they effed up because they never worked on that inner man. But the outer man, that's with the materialistics and all that other good stuff, cars, money, all the other good stuff. It doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, be blessed by that message. If y'all got that, you know what I'm saying, be blessed by it. And yeah, it's your boy Eli Talks TV. I'm out with this thing. So y'all be blessed. Deuces.